So virtually all networking operating systems today include support for TCP/IP protocols. And TCP/IP traditionally includes some basic tools that you can use to troubleshoot network connectivity problems yourself. The traditional TCP/IP troubleshooting tools originated on Unix systems, and as a result, they are command line tools that you run in Windows 7 by opening the command prompt window first. The Windows implementations of these utilities generally use the same syntax that they did on Unix. This section examines some of the most common TCP/IP utilities in their purposes. Using ipconfig.exe. Unix and Linux systems has a program called Ifconfig. The name is derived from the word interface configuration. Unix and Linux systems have a program called Ifconfig. The name is derived from the words interface configuration that you use to manually configure the properties of network interface adapters, including TCP/IP configuration parameters such as IP addresses. Running Ifconfig on a Unix system with just the name of an interface displays the current configuration information for that interface. All Windows operating systems, including Windows 7, have a graphical interface for configuring network connections. But the configuration displays capabilities of Ifconfig have been retained in a command line tool called ipconfig.exe. When you run ipconfig.exe with the /all parameter at the Windows 7 command prompt, you see a display like the one shown in figure 5-22. We have the command shortcut here, or you can just go to start. It's in Windows system. You can do it here, or you can type CMD here, command prompt, or you can even do, let's just type in run. We can go to run, the run app. It's another one you can do, and just type in CMD, and there we go. So we're in the directory. This is the command line prompt. We're using the ipconfig.exe tool. So it says when you run ipconfig.exe with the /all parameter, you'll get a display of all the connections and adapters and stuff like that. The value of the ipconfig.exe is particularly apparent when a Windows 7 computer auto-configures its TCP/IP client or uses DHCP to obtain its IP address and other TCP/IP configuration parameters. A DHCP configured computer does not display any configuration information in the local area connection property sheet. It just shows that the DHCP client is activated. One of the few ways to see what settings DHCP server has assigned to the computer without examining the DHCP server itself is to use ipconfig.exe. In addition to displaying the DHCP obtained configuration settings, ipconfig also enables you to manually release the IP addresses the system obtained from the DHCP server and renew existing address leases. By running ipconfig with the /release and /renew command line parameters, you can release or renew the IP address assignment of one of the network interfaces in the computer or for all of the interfaces at once. So we're just going to do ipconfig. Example of that, it shows the Windows IP configuration, Ethernet adapter, so it's just the Ethernet adapter in there, media disconnected, media state, connection specific DNS. So it doesn't give us a lot, but this right here, the Ethernet adapter, Ethernet, connection specific DNS suffix. So I'm connected to the library's Wi-Fi, and then this is the link local IP version 6 address here, 128-bit address compared to the IP version 4 address, which is 32-bit. And you get the 32-bit by counting these octets. So it's 4 octets, and you have 8 bits in a byte. So 8, 16, 24, 32. You would calculate this the same way, and this is abbreviation for one of the octets here. So this double colon, I think it gives you, it must be all zeros here that you can include. All right, so this is a subnet mask 255.255.255, and that's just a representation of the network identifier and the host. So these 3 octets identifies the network, and then this one identifies the host with the 0. So what it does is it tells you that 10.0.2 is the network identifier. So everyone on 10.0.2 a part of this network. Anything here is the host itself. So this will identify the individual host or the individual computer on the network. And this is the default gateway, which is the router. So the default gateway is the router, and you have 10.0.2.2. Basically, this is the same network that default gateway is on, and then it's assigned to, because it acts as a host on the network. All right, so we're going to do ipconfig /all. You get a lot more information with ipconfig/all. So it tells you most of this information here. It gives you the physical address, which is a MAC address, the network interface card. So each computer has its own MAC address. No MAC address is the same, and each computer is identified by its MAC address on a network. So if you was relaying frames on a network, it would be identified with the MAC address. This is how you get more of the information as far as the DHCP server. In the case of the DHCP server is the same as the default gateway. It acts as a DHCP server. You have DNS servers, NetBIOS over TCP/IP enabled. Then you can run the ipconfig. We can do that because if you do release, you got it'll do that. So no operation can be performed on Ethernet 2 while it has its media disconnected. Or you can do ipconfig /renew. No operation can be performed on Ethernet 2 while its media is connected. So no operation can be performed. All right, so pretty straightforward and simple on ipconfig and those parameters. Very basic. So that's it for ipconfig.